Welcome to the second section for 5th grade writing boot camp. This section will cover pre-writing strategies. The strategies presented in this video are strictly for responding to a state test prompt. They will not cover free writing, research papers, or other types of responses you may be asked to write in your daily schoolwork. You can use these strategies that I mentioned, but they do not cover every type of writing. To write an effective essay, you must follow the proper steps. I know many of you are probably really good writers already, and you can write straight from your brain. But that is not a tool of an effective writer that uses as you grow through your educational years. It is much better to start good habits in writing now. We want to write a response or essay response that directly answers the prompt on the state test. How do you generate ideas for your essay? How do you make sure you cover all aspects of the writing prompt? Step 1 is to cub your prompt. No, not that kind of cub. This kind. Cubbing your prompt is covered in section 1 of the boot camp. If you have not done that section, please return to section 1 to learn how to read your prompt with this method. Once you have cubbed your prompt, you will take those elements and use what you have circled, underlined, and bracketed to build your pre-writing strategy. From your cubbed prompt, you will use a graphic organizer to organize your thoughts. For our boot camp purposes, we are going to focus on only 2 types of graphic organizers. We are going to look at a bubble or cluster organizer and a table or T-chart organizer. Both are very effective tools because they can expand or contract to match your prompt. Let's take a sample prompt that has been cubbed and build a bubble graphic organizer to get ready for our writing. Here is our prompt already cubbed and a bubble graphic organizer already filled in. Pause the video and read the prompt yourself. Now, let's look at how this one was filled out. The first thing I noticed about my prompt was that it is going to be my opinion. I do not have a passage to read, only a prompt. So I get to choose the main points I want to write about. Look at the command word and the answer to the what does it want from me. I need to write an essay. About what? About people of diverse backgrounds can get along better. So there is one main point in this prompt and one main bubble for me to fill in. See how I took what is underlined and put it in the main bubble? This is the question I must answer. See, here I chose to do 3 answers to my question. You should always try to have 3 main points in your essay in response to the essay prompt. This will give you enough information for a 5-paragraph essay with no problems. I chose treatment, golden rule, and learn the culture from my 3 answers to my main question. Once I chose the answers, I looked at my prompt again. I notice it says I have to illustrate. That means I have to give an example. So I explore my 3 answers by illustrating how people of diverse backgrounds can get along. I gave an illustration for each one. Then I wanted to make sure that I had at least one piece of actual evidence in my essay. So I added that evidence under Learn the Culture. It is always good to give at least one piece of evidence in every essay. Most essays will ask for 2 or more. Here is another prompt that has already been cubbed. Let's read the prompt together. Both of the passages you just read describe the changes to telephones since their invention. Using facts and details from both of the excerpts, telephones yesterday to today, and a history of the telephone, Write an expository essay explaining the improvements telephones have made in our lives. I know it is an expository essay. That means informative. This has nothing to do with my opinions. I have to give the facts from my reading. I'm using a table graphic organizer. Sometimes it's called a T-chart if you're just using one or two columns. But remember, we always want to use at least 3 pieces of evidence from our readings. So I brought the main question down from my prompt. The main question I want to answer here is, how has the telephone made improvement in our lives? I made 3 points. I chose 3 things from my reading to talk about. Number 1, made more jobs. Number 2, faster emergency response. Number 3, we can be more mobile. So now I look back at my prompt and I see that I have bracketed, I need evidence from both passages. Do I have that? Yes, I do. I wrote down exactly where I found that evidence, paragraph and line number, and I summarized what that sentence said. You could quote the text here if you wanted. Just make sure to use your quotation marks and citation marks correctly. Are you ready? Ready, set, go! Remember, first you cub your prompt. Second, you do your pre-writing strategy of a bubble organizer or a table. Remember, you can expand your bubble organizer to as many bubbles as you need to cover your prompt, or expand your table to cover as many facts as the prompts ask you for. Now, let's move on to section 3 for writing a 5-paragraph essay.